Hello, Schmoville. Well, it is now episode 40, phase 2. Also, sorry about the, it's been a couple days since I posted an episode. It's been a very busy week in Schmoville. Not only have we launched phase 5, which is every Thursday night, if you didn't catch the latest, with Ivan Reitman and Zach Levi talking, we also talked Captain America. John Campea from AMC Movie News called in. A lot of cool stuff happened. That was the last week. So there's been tons of stuff going on. So sorry for the upload. However, here's the upload. Episode 40 of this was phase 2. This is the first time my buddy Derek Hoffman, our good buddy from, he works at the Donner Company, which does the XMen movies, and he's a good pal of mine. He came on to talk heroes and villains. So we just kind of went over a whole bunch of different heroes and villains and how they rank in history as far as the villains and heroes in history go. So check that out. This is a really fun one, by the way. Leave your comments below. Bunch of contests for phase 5. We have contests every week now for phase 5, the posters, t-shirts. So make sure you're checking it out, and the Facebook page, facebook.com/schmoesknow, and all the stuff here as well. So thanks for being a part of it, and enjoy this episode of the podcast.
And now, it's the Schmoes No Show.
That's new. Hey, guys, it is the Schmoes No Show. We are back. It is Christian Harloff.
And Mark Ellis. We have so many new technological toys on this podcast. We're very thrilled to bring them to you each and every week.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop. And something else that doesn't stop is our love for our co-host who is here today, Katherine Reitman. How are you, Katherine?
I don't know how I feel about the new audio clip we're using up top. I just don't think it's eventful enough. It's too short, and it's just not up to par.
We're working on it.
It's a remnant from our live show that we did a couple years ago.
Really?
It's a relic. Yeah, we unearthed it.
Yeah, it was from a live show that we used to do.
Was your live show disappointing, like that clip?
That is so mean. Tim Powers worked his ass off.
I'm sorry. I'm in a sassy mood today, you guys.
I know. I can't wait to hear about it. But before that, this is what today's episode is going to be. Obviously, Mark and I are going to be playing the roles of hero, and Katherine is going to be the villain.
Rude.
Because, you are not in a pleasant mood today.
I'm not.
Okay.
Why is this?
She's in a great mood. What are you going around accusing?
She just said she's not. Did you hear what she said?
I never said I said I was sassy today.
I just said, if you replay the tape, I just said, you're not in a good mood, and you said, I'm not.
Well, you might be right.
Okay. Anyway, that being said, that is going to be the topic of today's show is heroes and villains. But before we get into that, I am very excited today because we have a great guest. He's a buddy of mine, but he's also has a lot of insight in heroes and villains because he has worked on many of the X-Men movies, especially XMen First Class is one I loved. Mr. Derek Hoffman.
Hello.
Yeah,
how are you, man?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here.
A lot of pressure put on you right off the bat,
Yeah.
Derek. You got heroes. You got you said that you're going to be a great guest. So
make it happen.
I just have to be better
happen.
than Ethan Irwin.
You got to be better than Ethan Irwin, which
I know where my bar is.
That's right.
So far, the only person to beat Mark Ellis in the game, which we will play later.
Game. Yes, I heard that.
not the Michael Douglas game. Just it's a very simple.
It's really fun. It's really fun.
You got wrecked, so you think it stinks. But before we get into, I want to talk to Derek about obviously about where he works, how he got into producing, and all of that great stuff. But before that, Katherine. Let's go to every villain. There's a reason, like a backstory of why they become a villain. Why are you in such a bad mood today?
Okay, you guys, it's
sassy.
Sassy, why are you sassy today?
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Mark, I love you.
All right.
All right.
And according to the internet, I love you as well.
Oh, we're getting
Mark,
to
what
this
do you
again.
think how would we fall in love? What would our love story be?
There's definitely rain involved.
Yeah.
There could be heroes and villains involved in our love story.
A power ballad, maybe?
I could probably, it would be you rescuing me from danger.
Yes, I love that.
how
From
it
a
would
burning
happen.
building while it's raining.
I think I'm watching it happen right now.
Yeah. No, everyone always is. Mark and I
feel
are
it.
like hardcore in love. It's just complicated.
Yes, there's a great video out there, and it's perfect. But Katherine, would you like to talk while you're in a sassy mood today?
Yes, I am. I apologize. I am in a sassy mood because I got in like a heated fight with my man last night.
Ooh.
And,
Who looks like Ed Burns, but go ahead.
He's so handsome, you guys. It's ridiculous.
Katherine, why are we fighting right now?
Well, he's a good guy. He's so smart, and he's so good to me.
I have nothing but nice things to say about him.
Of course, I ordered pizza. I had a movie ready to rock.
Yeah.
Last night, ready to go.
Okay.
And he was very late. He was very, very late. And
working?
He was working.
Okay.
But usually with the working comes the texting or the calling when you're late.
Ooh,
yeah.
working late on a Friday. We've
right.
seen
No
that
text, no
80s
call.
movie.
Pizza's getting cold, know what I'm saying? Not
Did
to
he
say that
defend
I
himself,
waited.
or did he say sorry?
He got defensive, and that's where the fight started. See, if you just owned up, then it's like, you know what? I get it. We've all had long days.
Right.
He got defensive on me, and then it was game over.
What was the movie?
The movie was Ratatouille. It's one of my favorites. It gets me in the mood to eat
Okay.
pizza.
Yeah, what kind of pizza was it?
It was Mulberry Street Pizza, which is one of my favorites.
Pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
Not bad.
Okay.
Well done. I like it extra cooked. Half cheese, half pepperoni.
You can order
mushroom.
You can
order
see
pizza
just from the
well
way she's
done.
talking
Oh,
about it,
yeah.
there's a lot of detail in
Yeah.
last night. So
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're getting poo-pooed on the detail, and it
Yeah.
gets upset.
No, I opened up a bottle of wine. I mean, things were going good. I was wearing something pretty good, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, see, that
Loose
sounds
pajamas.
like I don't want anybody else with me at that point. If my husband didn't show up, I'd be very, very happy. I just want to eat pizza and watch movies by myself.
But I was trying to be polite and not start eating the pizza.
Okay.
And
All right.
that's what made it worse. If I just ate the pizza, it would have been fine. But
Right.
I'm sitting there getting, resentful. I'm starving. I'm not one of those like nice people when I'm hungry.
I'm shocked that you didn't, in spite, go, you know what? I'm eating at least 2 pieces.
Well, I had a slice. I got
fair enough.
listen,
She's
time
human.
tick tick.
She's human.
Thank you.
Well,
thank
because
you.
Katherine loves food as much as I do, so I
Yes,
knew
I
you
got
were lying a
crazy.
little bit.
Well, I waited, and then I got mad, and then I got mad at myself. That's how it goes. And then I had a slice, and then it was all downhill
Hug
from
the
there.
dogs.
Did you watch Ratatouille?
Yeah, but it took forever because we had to fight.
Oh, you guys did watch it together.
Yes,
That's great.
But
Okay,
then
so-
we were like watching it with our arms crossed. You know what I'm saying?
Then we know who won.
And like every time that rotten critic came in, you'd be like, that's you.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
There's nothing better than a domestic dispute followed by a kids movie.
That's
you know?
it. It's so weird, Mark. It's so weird. We would never have that in our
But are
relationship.
things okay?
No, we
are
wouldn't,
things
no.
okay now? Everything's hunky
Things
dory.
are things are fine, but
Okay.
I didn't sleep well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm a little stung.
Okay. Well, then that's
sassy.
So that's after hearing it, you are sassy and not in a bad mood. So
Thank you
that's-
very much.
Okay. I just had to hear the case.
I wish you guys could see what I'm looking at right now because Christian has his little baby girl
Oh, my-
literally nestled into his neck. It makes you hotter.
Thank you. I
It does.
appreciate that.
Men hold a baby and they get hotter.
I'm
So
sitting
I went
at
from a
the-
2 to a 4.
I'm at the head of the
Let's not
table
get
right
crazy.
now. I'm like the dad in this scenario, and then we have Katherine to my right, and then to my left we have Derek who
Right.
has twins, and then we have Christian who has a baby. So the guy with twins is helping out the guy with
well,
the baby.
that's what I
Right.
wanted everyone to know. For the next, by the way, this is episode 40 of the Schmoes and
Ooh.
Catherine. It's a very big
It's a
moment.
milestone.
It is a milestone.
We
And-
started this way back in the 30s.
That's right. For that, my baby daughter will be with us for the next 2. So if you hear crying and then I disappear and Mark and Katherine take over, that is why.
There's an
But-
outside chance it's me crying.
All right, so let's get to it now. Now, Derek, you work for Richard Donner's company, correct?
Correct.
Which is responsible for all the X-Men films.
Richard Donner been around for a long time. Guy's done a lot of big
and
movies.
I have to tell you that it's not just Richard Donner's company; it's the Donner's company, plural, because it's his wife and his company.
Right.
How dare you, Christian?
I apologize. That's
Well,
right. Of
it's-
course, she's like an uber producer.
Well, it's crazy because Dick did the Goonies, which I know you don't like.
Sorry about that.
Lethal Weapon, Superman, Omen,
We're sorry about
Scrooge, The Toy, all these movies.
The movie Prancer, I believe.
Prancer.
Yeah.
Did he
Looks
do
like I'm
Prancer?
not the only one who
Prancer.
did
Wow,
the
look at
whole
you.
one.
That
a
is
TV movie?
No, it was,
It was about the
reindeer
yeah,
movie.
No, I remember
Yeah.
it. I remember it. Anyways,
That poster's not on our wall. But Lauren, before Lauren ever met Dick, she produced St. Elmo's Fire, Pretty in Pink, Mr. Mom.
Major.
Wow.
So like all these people are like, oh, they know Dick Donner's name on the thing, and then you're like, she was producing awesome stuff, like stuff I quote constantly.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah,
She was
isn't
the
that
one that's
interesting
like.
that she produced things like Pretty in Pink and St. Elmo's
Mm-hmm.
Fire and these sort of like well-rounded, both gender, I'll say, films.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's making X-Men movies. You
Well-
see what men do to us.
But at the same time she was making X-Men movies, she was working with Mr. Reitman on stuff like
Which?
Hotel for Dogs.
Oh, one of my favies. I love that movie.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of awesome for me working at a company like that because we do everything. Like a lot of people, you work at a company and it's like, oh, those people do horror movies or they
Right.
do fun. Like in 1 year we did Hotel for Dogs, Wolverine, Secret Life of Bees, and a vampire movie.
That's pretty well-rounded.
So people come and they're like, "What are you looking for?" And I'm like, "What do you have?
What do you got?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's also hard because
A
then
nap?
everybody brings you stuff and they're like, "So this one has these 2 cops and one of them's going to done it." So it's a
Right.
horror movie about done it. These people have powers. God damn it.
Right.
So
well, we were talking about the fact that you did do the X-Men movies, and I told you know my opinion on X-Men First Class and how much I love that film.
He
Great
gushed
movie.
over. He called me as soon as because we saw that one at separate times. So he called me as soon as he got out, and he's like, "It's 5 out of 5. It's the best thing I've ever seen." He was incredible, and I liked the movie too.
Right.
But now everybody thinks I hated it because I didn't like it as much as Christian.
yeah.
That's what happens when you have a partner. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if I say it's right on or even right on the cusp, it's not compared to anybody. But because
Yeah.
Christian went crazy for it, now you hate it.
Now I'm the asshole.
That's
yeah.
right. It's
the
like
same-
Warhorse.
It's actually right. Like Ellis really liked John Carter. I thought it was okay, and some people are like, I can't believe you liked John Carter. I said I thought it was okay.
Right, right.
But yeah, so
You're on the cross for it all of a sudden.
well, I know there's a lot of news. So recently, they just that X-Men First Class sequel it's happening. It's going. What's
Yep.
what's the status? What can you?
What's
what can
the name
you,
of the
what's
X-Men
scoop?
First Class? Is it X-Men Second Class? Is
A good question.
X-Men
It is
the junior year?
untitled First Class sequel.
First
at the
Class
moment.
sequel.
No, I
the
mean,
moment.
literally, we just got Matthew Vaughn signed on to direct. Simon Kinberg is starting writing, but it's very much in the early stages of talking about it. Because
That's exciting because Matthew Vaughn did such a great job.
Matthew
directing
was
the movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he really deserves, just the lion's share of the credit on it. He delivered an awesome movie. I tell people it's weird for me growing up. Most of my adult life has been segmented into film projects.
Yeah.
And they take a couple of years. Like movies take a long time, so I think of how long they take. And now that I have a kid, like I see time in different ways. I left London 3 weeks before we started shooting because my twins were being born.
Wow.
Right.
And the movie came out a week before their first birthday,
Oh my God.
which is insane for
Yeah.
a movie of that size.
Yeah.
and
That's really,
scale,
really
and,
fast.
I mean, it was just moving. So you had to really know what you wanted. There was no time to talk about it.
You couldn't do like
which I think
reshoots
helps.
and stuff like
Right.
that. It was just look. This
I mean,
is
like,
this
you
is
always
the
have
take.
reshoots like built in. So especially on something like that, you've got stuff built on in the end, and you say, okay, we're going to put a couple days. So if there's anything we need to do, but
And you guys were kind of going up against the storm. You can stay political on this, and that's fine. But like
Sure.
the both Wolverine and, to my opinion, the Brett Ratner's X-Men should be put in a garbage can and never talked about. And that I know that you guys were probably going up against that. And I know from what I hear, as far as I know Fox puts their hands in shit all the time. So it was really nice to see a nice fresh take on X-Men First Class, and the fact that what I thought it was, what made that movie as good as it was the fact that you had both Magneto and Xavier, and you had that Anakin and Ben Kenobi storyline that you didn't have. You didn't have that depth, and I think that's why it worked.
Well, and you focused on that.
Right.
It wasn't, for good or bad, we didn't have time to really, delve into who all the other characters really were. Mm-hmm. Those were the two guys. They were the epicenter of the whole thing, and you had to have Shaw to be on topic. You had to have a villain that was going to be good enough for the audience to care about what happens between the two of those
Right.
guys. But at the same time, you're watching that movie, you're waiting to see what happens because that's
Which
the
one's-
blessing and the curse.
Which one's Fast Boner?
He's Magneto.
He was
He's
Magneto.
Magneto.
Well, here's a question.
And he
This
did not get naked in that movie.
Maybe
That's a shame.
I don't know if you can answer
Shame,
this
see
or
what I
not,
did?
but this is something that I
Wait
wanted
for the
to know.
Blu-ray
Look at that.
special edition. No, I'm just
Right.
Ooh.
Well, here's a question. I know that some fans have this question though too. Like I think it's Ratner's version, when in the very beginning, Xavier's walking around and he's old and he's with Magneto, and so they approach Jean Grey's door. Now that is a little different from the origin story. So did they kind of disregard Brett Ratner's version? Can you say?
Not entirely. I mean, it is the X-Men universe is the X-Men universe, but for the sake of doing some of the things you had to do, there was do you completely beholden to one scene on
Right.
something when you have? I mean, it's also this is it's a weird thing because it's a prequel, but it's a reboot. It's like, I mean, it's not a reboot because it happens in the continuity, but it's a fresh start, and
Right.
you have a whole new cast, and it's been a long time since since Last Stand, so you're bringing in a whole new audience. So it was like, it was a choice, and again, to his credit, Matthew was strong enough that he knew what he wanted in that movie, and he was ready to take.
Well, so is that where's where's Magneto going further? Is he going to be pure villain, or are we going to take him from?
I don't think he, and
He looked
Again,
pretty
we haven't-
pure villainy at the end of First Class.
But he's
and
never-
then-
He was the one that
never-
was like, screw the humans, right?
Yeah,
he's never-
But he's never pure villain. There's one of the best lines. You go to X2 and Pyro looks at him and goes, "They say you're the bad guy," and he goes, "Is that what they say?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "That's a great line because that's him saying, I'm not the bad guy."
That's right. Perspective.
Who says
Right.
that?
he's just a huge fan
Yeah.
of mutants. That's
It's like
the
Michael
thing.
Bay.
Yeah. He's into self-preservation.
Yeah.
He's into,
Yeah.
it's not his fault.
He's
No,
looking out
been
for his
attacked.
peeps.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sure Nazis think like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's perspective.
somebody kills your mom
Hey,
in front of you.
the Jewish girl said it, so it's
Listen,
not,
right,
me,
it
not
worked
me
out.
saying it.
Perspective. They're angels.
That was said by Katherine Reitman.
So now, so the next X-Men First Class movie, is it going to be? Is it going to pick up right where the first one left off? Is there going to be some time in between?
I
What happens
cannot
when the
tell you.
Beatles hit America?
I cannot tell you, mostly because I don't know.
Okay, I tried to milk a scoop out of it.
Now,
That's what we do on this show.
When that happens, okay, so like the plot starts, it's all very top secret. It's obviously like hyped like crazy.
Yeah.
How many people go to the table read? Who gets to see the script? How private is the whole thing as it starts to unravel?
It's really, really private. Especially Fox keeps everything super on the down low. But at this point, it's not even at that point. It's like Simon and
They're
Matthew
writing it.
having phone calls and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, we're literally deals were just sort of done, and we're at the very beginning of it. So.
Yeah, you
so
know
the script
something.
is not complete.
Yeah. No.
Got it.
We have Gary Busey and the other guy from Lethal Weapon here to torture you until you give us something.
What's his name? Polo or something like that?
Yeah, I can't. But he was the bad guy in Die Hard.
Die Hard.
That's
and
right.
Everything.
And,
When
and
is he
I,
Bad guy in everything.
I saw him
Big
at
Trouble in Little
I saw him at
China?
Subway like a year ago.
Stop. What did he get? What did he
looks
order,
the
Mark?
Well, what was disappointing is that he wasn't eating a Nestle
Candy,
Crunch
right,
bar.
right.
But I didn't see what he ordered because
Probably a meatball sub.
he was
Just going
in-
to say it.
he doesn't look like he could handle a meatball sub.
He's the size of a meatball.
He's a
But
how
tiny
old is he
guy.
now?
Was he wearing
Yeah.
a trench coat?
It doesn't matter. He's immortal, Catherine. That's the thing. He will play a villain in movies
Is
100
he
years from now.
aging well?
Yeah, he looks like he did in Die Hard.
Really?
Before he got killed in Die Hard.
He must be avoiding
Yeah.
the sun.
And then speaking of villains, that's a great villain that nobody talks about.
And by the way, you've got to be a great villain to essentially say nothing, eat a candy bar, and everyone remembers you.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
Yeah,
people.
good point.
Yeah.
The bad guys ate candy in Hudson Hawk, and it didn't work out well for him.
Boba Fett? Anyone?
That's right, Boba Fett. Well, now he talks like the Mandalorian.
Did Boba Fett
he
eat
didn't.
candy, and I'm missing something?
No, but he didn't say anything.
He didn't say a damn
He had
word.
three-
Well,
he
Empire
had- he
Strikes
had-
Back.
he had 3 lines in that
I was going to
movie.
say, who the hell is Boba Fett?
All right.
All
okay.
right, let's
See,
get real.
I'm from the South, so I pronounce it Boba Fett.
Never heard anyone ever except you pronounce
Well,
it.
look, I'm a
Boba
big fan
Fett?
of the movies.
I just went ahead and watched Return of the Jedi
Yeah.
and
Oh,
heard
boy.
Han Solo say Boba Fett.
Okay,
It's not
okay,
helping
you,
my mood.
You have to remember that Han Solo had just gotten out of Carbonite. Han Solo, who, by the way, can't agree on a pronunciation for his own name because Lando was calling him Han the whole movie.
Fine.
So
What's it, Han Solo?
Han Solo.
It's Han Solo, unless some people call him Han on Cloud City.
And if you're wondering why Catherine's falling asleep, it's because we're bringing up Star Wars, and she, anytime you bring up Star Wars or the Goonies, I guess. Now that's the other.
I
two.
wanted to like Goonies.
Fine.
I really did.
Fine.
yeah, but you know what, Christian? If you bring up Ratatouille, she is all over it. She will
And
get
I'm
in a
here,
fight over
and I'm
watching
present.
Ratatouille.
And I'm back.
And
That's
I'm
right.
back.
Yes. So
Let me ask you a real quick question about Ratatouille.
Yes.
I watched it in a movie theater with a bunch of kids or anything. I think one of the most amazing parts of that movie is how can little kids relate to the climax of that movie? Because it's about like an 80-year-old man remembering his childhood.
right.
Right. Well, it's the real climax of the movie is that anyone can cook, obviously, even a rat, and he opens his own restaurant where rats run the show.
But
that
it
what it's
happens like
about?
it happens in like when the old man is like, "Oh, this is the best thing
Oh,
ever."
this
'cause I
brings me
remember-
back to when I was a child.
I mean, even little kids when they watch it, they're like, "Ah!"
I am a child right now.
You don't get
I've
that.
never. I thought the whole thing was the life story of Chuck E. Cheese. That's really what I thought Ratatouille was.
It's the music. The kids just relate to the music. They feel like they're in a happy mood. They're supposed to be. Oh, this is supposed to make me feel giddy and happy, and I get it. That's all.
The music is so, yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
Says the
intoxicating.
guy with a baby draped on his arm.
right.
I guess we
That's
got to
true.
take his word for it.
All right, Derek. So before we get, I want to start talking about everyone's favorite heroes and villains in general in film. But I wanted to ask you, so what's your official title over at the Donner's Company?
Vice president.
So you're vice president over at Donner's Company.
The Veep, that's big.
Yeah,
man.
that is big.
Can I just want to know exactly what he does. What do you do? Because it's one of those things where you see produced by, or you hear some guy's a producer at a company. What exactly do you do with your day, dear boy?
The majority of the day is spent reading and talking to people.
Okay.
And finding, reading new scripts to see if there's a new idea, talking to managers and everything to find out if there's a new writer, and then you read their stuff and see. Then you have meetings where you read something, you go, oh, I really like the script, and you sit down and talk to the guy, see if am I going to be able to work with him for 2 years of my life. It's reading a lot of books, reading a lot of stuff. Just you're always.
So you're saying I wouldn't be good
ideas.
at it? There's a lot of reading involved.
Yeah.
I can't even crack the Hunger Games. I don't think I'd be a great producer.
You need to start cracking the Hunger Games.
I don't think he's going to do it now. It's next week. He's like, you know what I mean?
I
So
know.
it's like, but
It is a quick read.
I'm officially not reading the Hunger Games before I see the
well,
movie.
let's hold off on the Hunger Games because that's a hero that I want to talk about. But
and I'm
Katniss.
in. And I'm in.
yeah.
Hey, look who knows the name of the lead
Well,
girl.
I got a Wikipedia.
Like you said, he's got a partner that won't shut up about it. So
Miss Everdeen.
Oh, I was going to say someone's marketing department was doing a good job. but
no,
apparently
yeah,
not.
I'm part of the marketing department. Derek, so how did you get into what you're doing? Like what
I have one of those ridiculous Hollywood stories of I was in Chicago.
Is that where you're from?
I'm from upstate New York. I went to Indiana University, and
Okay.
then I went up to Chicago to get some experience on my resume before you just come out to LA and be like, "Hi, I'm here to make movies."
Yeah.
And the movie I was working on, the editor needed someone to drive his car to LA, so I did. And one of the accountants was like, "Oh, you should stay there." My next job wasn't for a month; it was supposed to be on What Women Want, and it's like, "Oh, you can stay in my apartment. You can my twin brother is a coordinator on all these big movies, and maybe they'll get you a job for a week or two."
Right.
So I was out here driving a Robin's Egg blue stick shift Ford piece of junk. It was
Did you just say Robin's
Yes.
egg blue?
Yes, I did.
That is the
I don't-
most specific, beautiful description of a color I've ever
There you
heard.
go.
But I also have no idea what color blue that
vice
is.
president of a company.
I was gonna say.
So I got an interview on the first X-Men. They were doing reshoots. They were reshooting the Statue of Liberty stuff, and I went in, and Kevin Feige, who now runs Marvel Entertainment, was Lauren's assistant at the time. And I went in and I met with him, and I was like, "What are you going to do with is Psylocke in it? What are you going to do with Colossus? What are you going to I drilled him, and he thought that was great. And then he introduced me to Jeff Johns, who now runs DC Entertainment, who was Dick Donner's assistant at the same time, which
You
is
are giving
crazy.
so many boners to people at home right now.
It's
Especially
amazing.
comic book fans who are just like, "Oh, I'll just run in there waving my X-Men pennant and I'll get a job."
And they'll think it's great.
But I think people don't understand
You are
the
a hero.
amazingness that the two guys that are running these incredibly powerful companies were assistants at the same time for this husband and wife team. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
And they introduced me to Dick and Lauren, and we got along great. And I got a call, and they said, "Oh, so come." And I said, "Oh, great. What's the job? How long is it?" "I go home in 3 weeks." And I'll never forget Kevin Feige said to me, No, you live here now.
Boom.
That's awesome.
You work for Dick Donner now.
That's cool.
I was like, "Oh." And I called my girlfriend, who is thankfully now my wife, and
Nice.
said, "I'm not coming back."
So she moved from Chicago on that call.
No, we
Long
I'm
distance
smarter than that. I said, "I have to do this. I would love for you to come out and visit, and if you want to come out and join me, I would love for that to happen."
Let's make some twins, ladies. Get out here.
How long were you with her at that point?
Timing. We've been together for 14 years, so I mean, at
Wow.
that point, it was 1 or 2
I'm sorry,
years.
but you look like a baby.
I am a baby.
14 years of.
Packed a lot of life into
When did you
this.
guys meet? College?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You look
Pretty
like.
crazy.
Catherine is mesmerized right now. It's
I
amazing.
really am. Well, you
And
look
you should
like
see
you're
if I
late
shave
20s.
if I shave the beard, it's ridiculous.
Teenager.
Yeah.
There, he's got a beard. For those of you who can't see him, he looks like a 12th century Viking teenager.
And
That's a great
with a
call.
fantastic hat on, New York Yankees
Yes,
hat.
yes.
We're talking
it's
to
so uncommon to see.
So unusual.
We were talking to
You
Derek
must have found that
Hoffman.
online.
We were talking to Derek Hoffman, vice president of the Donner's Company, and we were talking heroes and villains.
Talking heroes and villaans. Give us a call. Let us know
That's
what your
right.
favorite hero
That's
and
right.
villain is on the Schmoes and podcast.
So here's what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do this because obviously Derek is also a big film aficionado, as you have to be at his job, of course. But
And there's a lot of reading.
but he's also he's a buddy of mine. We talk
That's
these.
the deal breaker for Mark.
Right, that's it. We talk these. Derek and I talk about these types of things all the time, and he's a geek just like Mark and myself. So Katherine will fall asleep. But there's a lot of villains and heroes out there. So here's how this is going to work. I'll throw one out there, and you guys.
Does it have to be a comic book hero or villain?
No. It could be anyone in film history.
And I'm in.
You're in. So what I'll do is I'm going to throw that out there, and the debate will be whether or not this person deserves to be in the
Pantheon of all-time
all-time greats. And you guys
Okay.
can state your case of why you think that they do or do
Okay.
not. And if
Well-
everybody agrees every single time, that's fine.
Okay, well, that'll be fun.
I hope we only agree.
That's right. All right. So The first villain I'm going to throw out there is, I think, is an easy one around the board, and that would be Mr. Hannibal Lecter on Silence of the Lambs.
Great
I'm in,
villain.
baby.
I
Great
think
villain.
everyone agrees that he should be in the top of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him at the top,
No,
but
he's
he's
in the top.
He's climbing. He's awfully high in the Himalayas. I think that the thing about Hannibal Lecter is a lot like Magneto. Is that you see a spark in him that you don't. That you're like, you know what? This guy, he's not a total. I don't find him totally evil whenever I see any of those movies because he's so like
Is that because
classy.
he's Hopkins, though? Is that because he's...
No.
Well,
you
no,
know-
but Mark's bringing up a great point because I think part of being a genius villain is a likability factor.
Absolutely.
Oh,
If you
completely.
can in some way relate to that villain, you have
Sympathetic
transformed.
villain.
Absolutely.
Thank goodness
You relate to
Katherine
eating
stepped
people?
in.
Oh, obviously.
Okay.
You
Well,
look
but no,
delicious.
but here's the thing, too.
Because I'm carrying a baby.
Here's the thing about Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter, the sort of antagonist of the movie, the guy that's doing everything is Buffalo Bill.
Right.
Hannibal Lecter is back in this thing.
He's the
Hannibal
messenger.
Lecter is really scary because he is a reflection of Clarice's, and Clarice doesn't get enough credit as a hero. He's only scary, really scary, because it's her looking at him and him going, "We're not that different.
Right.
You're almost there. What happened to you? What do you hear in the when he's getting going to
Tell
her
me
and
about
he's
the
under her
lambs.
skin, you're going, oh, this innocent little hero with the gun and everything, but
There's something in there.
there's kind of close.
Yeah.
Where you don't get a lot of other villains. Other villains are usually in the path and they're after to get the hero. He's just in making her look and that's why I don't think he works as well in Hannibal.
You know who the real villain actually is in Silence of the Lambs? Is the guy who throws the semen at her on her
right.
way to
Yeah,
go
that's
see.
true. Yeah, well, there's
him.
a lot of dirty stuff going on in that movie. A little bit.
When you get semen in the eye. It's in the eye, right?
That happens to most porn stars.
Conjunctivitis.
That's right.
That's bad.
Now, the one thing I really like about Hannibal is how smart he is. Like, that's, to me, especially the fact, like, because you see this intelligence that's just like, wow, this guy is like Harvard-type stuff. And then he's so brutal. Like that scene when he breaks out. And we're talking about more of Silence of the Lambs, because Derek's right. In Hannibal, it's more, it's not as effective, and that's why nobody really talks about it.
Well, also in Hannibal, though, like at the end of that movie, he's just sipping on an espresso, and you're like, I could hang out with this guy. I
Right.
could have a coffee with him, and I wouldn't, and
It's
you would not
exactly what
know.
he wants you to think.
I know. No, I'm just going back
So
to
many
his
villains.
place. We're just going to play poker. That's all that's going to happen.
Okay, so now we're going to switch from villain to hero. Now, how do we all feel about Errol Flynn's Robin Hood?
Damn.
As
Ugh, old school.
Old school.
Boring.
Well, fine. Then you can say that he is, and you know what? You don't have to just do Errol Flynn. You can do Kevin Costner's Robin Hood if
I
you
could
want.
do Russell Crowe.
You could do Russell Crowe's if you want. Robin Hood in
How
general.
about the little fox from the Disney movie?
Now
By the
that was the
way,
one I was going to get.
You just gave me a
jam.
boner.
That's
the
He's
jam.
my favorite.
Robin
The
Hood and
fox.
Little John running through the forest.
I still think the best character in that movie, though, is Hiss.
Oh, completely.
This is the best, and we've talked about his
We've-
before.
I could talk about it all day.
We've bonded over his.
We've bonded over
yes,
Hiss.
and Prince John could actually be one of a really good
Prince
villain
John.
in that as well.
By the way,
Yes.
how about Baloo the bear being in like so many great movies?
Baloo is a great. Not only was he a great wingman in
Talented
movies, he was
actor.
also in Tailspin. He was flying.
How did he get there?
He was flying an airplane.
I'm pretty sure I saw him
He's like,
in the Lorax.
It's like when Kelsey Grammer like spun off to Frasier. You
Yeah.
know? He was
That's right.
like he was the side
character-
player who really blossomed on his own because Tailspin's amazing.
Well, do we think
Obviously.
Robin Hood deserves to be in? Not because we know that he's the books and everything too. Of course, he deserves to be in that way. But in film, for the films that he's been in, does he deserve to be in the upper echelon of heroes?
Yes, absolutely, because he's been around as a hero more than anybody else, pretty much as far as film goes. Because Errol Flynn goes back to what that is like the 30s, I think.
Right.
And that's when Errol Flynn was more like he was using the sword a lot, and then Robin Hood started being like, you know what, this bow and arrow thing's pretty sweet too. I want to
Right.
get my hands as dirty.
Right.
And you have so many iconic portrayals of Robin Hood. He goes back even farther than Batman, because Batman wasn't on screen until the 60s with Adam West and the Shark Spray. So
But this brings up a good question, which is, are we talking about the character or the person portraying that character? Because there's been like a billion different
Yeah, the character,
Jokers.
the Robin Hood. Robin Hood is an ideal. That's why
Right.
Robin Hood's like one of the great heroes of all time. It's you can sum up Robin Hood as stealing from the rich, stealing from the poor to give to the rich.
Right, the character's
stealing
great.
from the rich.
Other way
But
around.
like
give
in
to the
Silence
poor.
and the Lambs, we're talking
Strike
about
that, reverse it.
Hopkins' portrayal
portrayal.
of
Right.
Hannibal
Well,
Lecter.
and- well,
I
'cause
think
that
we
was-
can talk about whatever you want to, Catherine.
Yeah, well, I think that
I just want to be limited.
No, it's a good point, because I think that you can also do the fact, like you can say that for me, Russell Crowe's Robin Hood and Costner's Robin Hood might not make it into the cut for me, but that little damn fox makes it
That
into
fox
the
is
cut.
it?
And
We all
Patrick
love the
Bergen.
Fox. Patrick
Oh, boy.
Bergen played
Remember
Robin
the
Are you
Hood.
Patrick Bergen
70?
Robin
Who
Men
is
in
he?
Tights?
The year before. He played Robin Hood the year before the Kevin Costner one came out. Yeah,
I remember. Yep.
And I remember that one was
missed
at the video store because like when Robin Hood was rented out and you couldn't rent, you're like, oh, I guess I get the Patrick Bergin version.
It was like right after Sleeping with the Enemy, so
Yeah.
it was like,
Oh, wow.
that's
right.
So that was Patrick.
love
you
that
also
movie.
have Carrie Elways or Carrie Yules, however you pronounce it, was Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Word.
So.
All right,
Man.
well, I've got
Man in tights.
I've got a villain that I think we're going to get into an argument about because I know I don't think that this villain should make it into the top, but I have a feeling Ellis will say that it does, and that's the shark from Jaws.
Come on. It's a machine. It's a robot.
Well, I call him Bruce, and it's a good point because again, the shark isn't doing anything that he's not supposed to do from nature. It's not
well,
like
unless you go to Jaws for the Revenge.
Jaws for the Revenge. That was an evil shark because they had ESP. That shark was like, I'm out to get the Brody family. But I think that the first one in the first movie, I do want to give him a villain, and I'll tell you why.
You're going to put him in the top 100?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, wait.
You can't put him in
I want
there.
to bring this up real quick
I knew it.
because
See, Katherine, I told you he backpedals. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, help me in
Listen,
there.
Here's why I wanted to, because I was doing a radio show in San Diego one time, and they wanted to do the Mount Rushmore of movie villains. Who are your 4 movie villains that you put up there? So I thought my Mount Rushmore looked the coolest of anybody's.
Who do you got?
This is who I have on it. I have the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay,
He makes it in there.
Darth Vader, Jaws, and Chet from Weird Science. That's the coolest looking Mount Rushmore you'll ever see.
You look like you need a nice greasy sandwich served in a dirty ashtray.
That's right. So I think that it's unanimous. It's not unanimous,
No,
but I think it's. What do you think?
I don't.
Yeah, 3-1.
No.
The shark loses. Now here's one that's interesting. Does Anakin Skywalker deserve to be?
I'm gonna use the
No. You should sit and listen to this. Should Anakin Skywalker be listed as one of the best heroes of all time?
No.
I can't
No.
give him. I see where you're going with it because it's this great conflict, and he gets real bad, and then he gets good again right at the end. You can't give him. You can argue about whether he's a villain, but he's not a hero. I'm sorry.
And even though he's supposed to be this great hero, and in the Clone Wars cartoon, he is. But Katherine has never even heard of that.
But here's the issue: for greatest of all time, it feels organically. I think like anybody that watches Star Wars, I think it feels organically like Anakin. The whole story of Anakin's tragic demise is only to serve Darth Vader.
Well,
Yeah.
that'll bring us to our next.
So you don't need it. So he's not greatest of all time because we're only seeing him as a hero in order to enforce.
To get to the villain part right now. That's the question.
Well, but he also-
Catherine has stepped out, by the way.
Yeah, Catherine's taking a breather. She's in the
Anytime Star
sauna
Wars,
right
she's
now.
out.
But then, I mean, the original trilogy is the redemption of Anakin, though, is because at the end he
That's a
gets good
question.
again.
Right.
So is he in the top villains of all time?
Darth Vader is one of the great villains of all time.
But is he
Yes.
though? Because the thing is, like, as far as because what he does in Episode 4 is
Yeah.
some of the most villainous shit you ever see.
He blew up a planet.
and he didn't
With
blow up shit.
people. He ordered it.
No, he didn't.
Ran
Tarkin
off
did.
Tarkin.
Yeah. He was in favor of
No,
it.
but here's the thing:
He got a
is-
front row seat to it.
You were in favor of a lot of Redskins decisions. That doesn't make you a villain.
Oh, by the way, congratulations!
Thank you. We traded up. We were getting a draft
Yeah.
pick, and Derek is a big Colts fan, so it's been a weird week for you.
But so, like, if we're gonna talk about
No, but here's the thing about Darth Vader as a villain. Darth Vader is because he's iconic. Because no matter where you go, because he is so chilling, and you start off, he's the henchman,
right,
and it's just. But then as it
henchmen
comes
for
over
different
time-
people throughout the whole series.
But as it comes on, you see, and you're like, wow, if he could do all that, if he could go and like he's going with his kid, and then when they give him the turn where he says, "Come with me, and we can rule the world, we can rule the galaxy together."
We
Yeah.
still talking Star Wars?
Yeah, that's his great villain moment of going like, I'm turning the tables. I've got a bunch of things.
right, he's making his move.
Okay, look,
in the
anytime
last-
you cut your child's hand off, you're probably evil. And also the fact that he has a cape. So you're either a good guy or a bad guy. You're not in the middle of it.
Right, we don't have to go too much into this, but I have to follow up on that. So, would you rank Palpatine higher of a villain
Who
than
the
Darth Vader?
fuck is Palpatine?
He's the emperor. He's the bad guy who shoots
Hitler.
He shoots lightning out of his hands.
No, because that's like saying one of the great villains.
You don't think he's more evil than Darth Vader?
No, but
Isn't Jar Jar Binks the greatest villain of all time?
That's a good. That's
But
a
it-
very
you're
good
talking about
God,
the
you
point.
make sense, woman.
Yeah.
You're talking about
Listen.
the great film villains, or even just story villains. Darth Vader's better just the same way as and I'm going to screw up his name, but Ray Fiennes'
Voldemort?
No, in Shawshank, Amnon Goth or whatever. Or
Oh,
not
my God,
Shawshank,
Not
Schindler's List.
Oh, yeah.
Schindler's
Right,
List.
right.
He's taken target practice on these guys. He's not Hitler, but he's in movie history. He's one of the most evil, scary freaking dudes ever.
But the difference is, though, there's Hitler's not a. I mean, he's a presence, but he's not like a character in Schindler's List as big as Palpatine is a character throughout the entire.
But
6 movies.
Hitler is another movie, and Hitler is a character. So, I mean, like,
Right.
all I'm saying is that sometimes the henchman is because of how evil they are.
See, I'm going to go Palpatine over Vader, but I don't want to.
The Emperor's the worst dude, but Darth Vader's scarier, looking. So, either way, they're not. Either way, kids, if you see them on the street, go to the other side of the street and find an adult you trust.
Catherine.
What? Yes.
Harry Potter.
As a hero.
Yes, of all time.
No. I mean, listen, I love the franchise.
Even though he won a U Reviewers Award.
Usually you reviewer awards guides all of my decisions in life.
That's right.
Pitting you against the viewers.
I know. Thanks for that. No, I think, listen, he's a likable character because he's so normal.
Right.
He's such a, dweeby average dude. But I don't think I never tapped into him. I never related to him. Even I don't think it's a male-female thing because there's a lot of male heroes I tap into. But
Especially after Ratatouille arguments.
Oh, yes, he's a rat, but he can cook.
Michael Fassbender in
man.
Shame is not a hero, Catherine.
No.
Oh, boy.
Well, so who's the hero in Harry
That's a
Potter?
great
Is it
example.
Hermione? Is it Ron?
Who's the
Who is
hero?
it?
Well,
No,
she
she's
is
not
the
saying he's
hero
not the
of
hero.
the
You're just
story.
saying she's just saying he's like number 38.
Oh,
He
he's
ain't
not.
in my
Okay.
top 10.
Okay.
He's not in my top 20.
All right.
My dad always says, funny too, like up until the last one, my dad's like, this Harry Potter, he sucks as a wizard. He's a shitty wizard. My dad says that all the time.
He's always blowing it.
He's a great wizard.
He's a great wizard. Your face just was so lovable. I can't stand it.
But it takes him a while to kind of tap into stuff.
He's the only dude that can produce the little things that scare off the
Illuminatus or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think Voldemort is a better villain than Harry Potter is a hero.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Until the end of the last movie, because again, and I said it before, Voldemort just did not have his A game. If he shows up with his A game, Hogwarts is wasted and Harry Potter's dead. But Voldemort did not come to play.
We're sensing a pattern here. Voldemort is only a really good villain because Harry Potter
Such a good
is
hero.
there.
Right. Well, that's true.
Because
By
Harry,
the way, I don't think that's true because Voldemort is evil. He's been against like when he goes into town.
Yeah.
When we see him in other
but the reason
environments,
he's
he's
not
the worst.
strong enough to go kill everybody else because of Harry.
Oh, I see. Technically,
So that it's in the story. Like if he would like Mark's saying, if the whole Harry thing wasn't around, he's just being bad, and there's
just a
nobody
douchebag.
else again. It only becomes interesting because the hero is there. I mean,
because he has to overcome this 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So
Can I bring up one of my favorite heroes?
Of course.
Please.
I think Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one of my favorite heroes because he's so flawed.
Yeah.
He's so not pure.
Right.
You can relate to him because you're like, yeah, I would want to leave that place too. I'd want to fuck around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he causes a lot of. But is he a hero or is he a nuisance? In a
No, he's a hero.
I know he is.
Troublemaker to the
But
establishment.
I'm just playing the other side because it's
Well, but I think those kind of heroes are more interesting, I guess, to me than someone like Harry Potter. Who,
Well, it's the difference of like
two on the nose.
what's that?
Harry Potter's
Harry Potter's
so,
two on the nose.
Well, he's
so
just so
virtuous
pure.
and
He's not.
so
He's
pure.
not flawed. He's not human to me. While Jack Nicholson, because he's cornered, because he's lived such a destructive lifestyle, all of a sudden he's got it. He goes pure for the sake of other people. I don't know. I really like.
I see where it's like dating a supermodel. There's nothing wrong with them. You can't find a flaw. I need to date like a cute girl. I need a couple flaws
But
so
it's
I can
also
win
maybe
an
a little
argument
chunky,
occasionally.
so she's got some stuff to hide.
Some meat on the bones. I'm happy
it's
with
kind
that.
of like Gary Cooper in High Noon, where
Yes.
you have the thing of saying it's not I have to go out and solve my destiny and I have to save the world and do all this stuff. It's you know what this is my spot. This is my stand.
Yeah.
I'm not, and so I would be perfectly willing to just live my life and be normal, but
This is my moment.
this is where I go. You can relate to that.
And there's a way to
personally.
do that well and not well. For instance, John Carter, which I think everyone in this room... Have you seen
I
it
have
yet?
not seen it
Okay.
tonight.
Well, the lead in John Carter, forgive me, I don't know his name
Tom
or his
Brady.
character's
Taylor
name.
Taylor Kitsch.
Thank you. He, who is similar to what we were just explaining in High Noon and in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, he's sort of just trying to do his thing. He just wants to get home. Cavalry dude.
Right.
And he's like, this is my moment to shine. But I never got on board with him.
Right.
I never connected with him.
Right.
Which is a theme in a lot of westerns, by the way. Like that's like Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven, and guys like even like when you watch Young Guns, you're actually rooting for Billy the Kid, even though he's very
though he's the
very
villain.
very flawed. He's like a bad guy. I remember my mom sitting me down and having a talk
made
with
him
me,
a
like
hero,
Mark,
yeah.
you're not supposed to be rooting for Billy the Kid. And I'm like,
Really?
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They did. Well, the way that they directed that film and everything, too, especially Young Guns 2.
Yeah.
He was off as rocker, but you still wanted.
Look, they don't play Bon Jovi music.
Right.
Yeah, they don't play that unless you're the hero. I'm
That's
like,
right.
This is a question about this is, and I don't know if they're necessarily either one of these characters will arrive in the top list at all, but I want to know if you guys consider them heroes, and that would be Ryan Gosling's driver.
Yes, all you had to say was
consider
Ryan
him-
Gosling.
but you consider him a hero. Think about it before you answer because you want
Just because you want to jump his
pants
bones
off.
in the
Yeah.
back of the car.
And Caesar from Rise of the Planet of the Apes, do you consider them heroes? Because a lot of people argue the opposite side. Because, again, and I guess you can also say Jake Sully from Avatar, is he a hero again because you're going against the humans.
Perspective.
Right,
Yeah.
it's perspective.
Perspective.
Now,
Yeah.
see,
Which brings it back to Ratatouille for me.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about apes first. Caesar.
Yeah,
Is
now look.
Caesar a hero?
I'm watching it, and he did his job. The movie did his job because I'm rooting for the apes in the movie. I'm like, yeah, screw humanity. Let's get rid of those idiots. But I am a human, so to me, he's a villain. But if you watch it from you get up in your ivory tower and you just watch everything happen, then he's
If
Caesar's a hero.
if
That's why
Caesar
that is-
wasn't put in that ape conservatory where the guys were douchebags, just like
Right.
white trash dudes,
Right.
then he wouldn't be a hero.
Right.
He would just be, why are these apes attacking these humans?
But he wouldn't go. But he wouldn't. He probably would have never led the rebellion had he not put in that place. He would.
But that's what I'm saying. The film, the way, and I think this actually goes back to X-Men, the way the film is orchestrated guides us to either root for him or not, right?
Right.
Now, if we just were watching this ape day to day and he was some douchebag ape that was always attacking humans,
Then he'd be on Bravo.
right.
That's why that is a really, I thought, a really bold movie that doesn't get enough credit for them making it. Actually, when I had read that script before I ever saw the movie,
Apes?
Yeah, it was just called Caesar, and I had no idea. And I'm not that big of an apes nerd that I remembered that the legend was this
Right,
ape
right.
Caesar.
You're in
so
good
I'm just
company.
reading this script, and it's about these scientists, and they have this monkey, and it's going. And then it was like the last 15 pages. All of a sudden, I was like, "Holy crap! This is Planet of the Apes. This
Yeah.
is like I'm reading it happen." And you watch it, and you go, "That movie, he gets you to root for the villain.
right.
You are you are rooting for the bad guy.
Really?
To rape.
You
to
think?
be raised.
Yeah, but he's
because-
not though.
think
But
about it,
Caesar's not
he is.
bad though because even in the sequels, he's not going to be the bad guy. He's going to be going against it because
No, but just go in the bigger picture.
yeah.
You know Planet of the Apes. You know that the apes are the bad guys. Charlton Heston lands
In the
there.
original Planet of the Apes.
Mark Wahlberg lands there.
Thank you.
And is,
Oh, good God.
but you know what I mean? Like they are.
Just got yourself never
When-
invited back to this podcast.
Once you get into that,
Right.
the apes are the oppressive
Right.
regime, and,
Right.
and poor humans are being. So they get you to. That'd be like doing a movie and being like to watch the rise of the empire and be like, yeah, go Palpatine. I hope he. Just to get it back to you.
Which is what
No, but you
scares
know what I
me
mean?
about kids today, and and all these video games. Because now
T-shirt.
video games, like when you played a video game in the '80s or the '90s, you were the good guy and you had to defeat the bad guys. Now you can choose which team you want to play for, and all the kids want to play for the dark side now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of scary.
Right. All right. Well, final question before we're actually going to get into playing the game this week, and Mark
Okay.
is going to
Yay.
go. Well, you might do good this time. Cut it out.
Well, you might do well.
You might do
Continue.
well. You might do well. And now, before we the last word is Ryan Gosling a hero in Drive. I think he's out of his mind, psychotic. But go ahead.
A movie which I really enjoyed. Ryan Gosling, who can do no wrong in my vagine. You know what I'm saying?
The lady parts.
In my lady parts, yeah. Vagine is, for the fellas out there, a fancy word for vagina.
And if you don't know that yet, you're too young to be listening
That's
to that.
right. Please close your computer. It's a great question. I think he is, because the villain is so bad. You know,
Right.
I think, and he's saving this girl. But does he turn corners like when he stomps that dude to death? Spoiler alert.
Right.
I mean, he's a flawed hero.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
there's a real bad
Anti-hero.
guy.
He's an anti-hero.
There's a real bad guy, and there's not as bad of a bad guy in Drive. That's
All
how
right.
I look at
Fair
it.
enough.
I got to ask you this real quick.
Yes.
Because I'm on the way over, and I heard an interview with some writer who is writing. Apparently, they're doing sequels to. Do you guys remember Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Of course.
And I hadn't thought about this until I heard it. Do you remember the bad guy in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
No.
It was this like clown-like pedophile who was called like the children's stealer, and he was
No.
like there'd be these low angle shots of this like clown like dude leaning over with lollipops and
Chitty Chitty Bang
and
Bang?
pulling kids into the van.
Really?
Yeah, and you like. Until I was listening to that, I was like, I forgot. I just remember the car and everything. I was
Right.
like,
Wow.
I forgot how like the villain in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was basically a pedophile.
Wow. Was that like a message to kids?
I
Maybe stay
I
away
don't
from
remember
lollipops.
enough about it, but I just hearing it
Wow.
and it's in
That's
there
amazing.
triggered it. So
That's-
go back
that's
and
pretty-
rent that one.
That's creepy. But are there any other villains or heroes before we get into the game that you guys want to talk about real quick that you just want to mention? Can't get into detail on it.
Yes.
Who?
His name is Hans Gruber, and
Great
he
villain.
is Alan Rickman.
And John McClane should have to be mentioned in the
And,
hero.
and
okay?
obviously the hero, yeah.
Right.
And that's a good flawed kind of hero for you. But Hans Gruber is just so good, and I still get chills when I'm watching Die Hard with a Vengeance, and they find out that Jeremy Irons is Hans Gruber's brother,
Right.
and they ask John McClane, they're like, "Does the name Gruber mean anything to you?" And he's like, "Yeah, it rings a bell."
Right.
He's one of the greats of all time. I
Yeah,
think.
Alan Rickman's great as Prince or the sheriff of Nottingham. The sheriff of
Yeah,
Nottingham.
he's good. And it was
Yeah.
also...
I'm
Ross
gonna
and Cam.
tear your heart out with a spoon. Why a spoon? Because it hurts.
Awesome. Well, that's anyone else that we should
Dollar.
mention before we get into the game?
Lee Marvin is Liberty Valance.
Oh,
Ever
is that-
seen The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance?
No.
It's a great Western. And
Hero or
he's just
villain?
this he's
Villain?
this villain who he's just mean. And you always kind of wonder, Marvin plays him so great, you kind of wonder, like, why is he so mean and everything? But you have to be really badass if it takes Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne to take you down.
A good
right.
one.
That's
So
awesome.
I'd like to throw in Gary Oldman from The Professional. I think he was...
Safe.
Say you don't think he was...
No, it's solid.
Just because he's Gary
Yeah.
Oldman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we'd be amiss to not say Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Right. I mean, look, we know for people listening that there are tons of people that we left out, but those are just the
Yes.
ones that have come up, and it's more of a discussion of if we thought these people ranked on the list.
And this is why Schmoes Knows is great, because now all the Schmoesville guys can say who they thought.
That's right.
That's right.
And you can play that. And that being said, make sure that you guys rate this episode of the podcast and write a review and let us know who your favorite villains are, and we'd like to hear it. Now, here we go. We're going to get into the game. For those of you now who don't know the game, we started this a few episodes back, and Ellis has won two.
I get doubted every time. Every
Two out of
episode
three.
by
It's true.
Christian, he doubts me.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good at
Yeah,
it.
he's
Winning
also
record.
played it more than anybody.
Well, this is true as well. But
I only heard the Ethan one, but it was funny how badly he was like, "Oh, he's gonna kill you." He's
Yeah,
gonna-
yeah.
Well, I don't. I
It's
think
like the
Derek,
mother
I think
impressions
Derek's
just
got it,
didn't believe me at all.
and he still wound up beating you though.
He did beat
he
me,
did, but
yes.
it wasn't by a lot. But we're gonna play to 5 today.
I'm
Okay.
literally saved by the bell. I have to go feed my meter, guys. Enjoy the game.
No, you got to play. We'll take a break.
We're not going to
No,
take a
okay,
break.
then let's play it fast. Go,
All right,
go, go.
let's play.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So this is the first clip. Now, what you do is you listen, and then you say your name, Derek, and then say the.
That's how you buzz. Your name is
Gotcha.
your buzzer.
And that's, by the way, the biggest obstacle. Because, like, I knew all of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah.
All right, now some of
like the
these,
guy in Jeopardy.
some of these might be referring to heroes and villains. Just for a hint, there might be some heroes and.
I
Villains.
appreciate the hint.
Okay.
Here we go. This is the first clip.
Today, Christian.
I'm trying. Very soon, this thing will start, and as soon as we start,
I'm going to get a ticket.
There we go.
To begin with,
Derek,
this
Atticus Finch.
1-0.
Oh yeah, very good.
Derek
I'm
Hoffman
way out of
in
my
the
league.
lead.
I'm way
Very
out of my
good.
league.
All right, so
That was amazing.
Catherine, once Derek gets to 4-0, you can feed your meter. Okay, and now the next clip, and here we go. Enjoy it. Good luck. After this announcement, there is going to be a little ad that goes real quick, and then the clip
Jesus
starts.
Christ.
Oh,
Hey,
my
listen,
goodness.
I pulled up all the clips. Give me a break. Here it comes. We're starting right now.
He's got to have Ratatouille in them one, right?
Oh, I can only play. Catherine, Robin Hood, Batman, Superman.
Stop it. Boo, you buzzed out.
Our agreement, you're the one who shot me.
Mr. LaBeef has a point, Marshal. It isn't
Mark.
unfair like...
Yes.
That is
Rango.
From
Spit it
True
out.
Grit.
Which one?
The new one.
Right.
Really? You do that
Yeah,
specific?
Haley Steinfeld.
Okay, 1-1. I know.
See, he just
I would have given.
confuses
I would have given it to him. But, all right. Okay. Here is the next clip. So far, it is 1-1. Derek and Mark.
Yes,
There isn't a
yes.
Van Damme
Everybody
movie on here.
knows.
I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm just letting you know.
Now, we ride.
Derek. Yes.
Rango.
Wow. 2-1.
I just said it. Doesn't it count? Doesn't it carry over?
We'll give you a half. We'll give you a half point.
Shut up, Mark.
It is 2-1 to 0.5.
2-1.
Honestly, that did help me though.
Sure did. Okay. Here is the next clip. It is 2-1.
Partake not in the meat, nor the breast milk, nor the ovum of any creature with a face.
Short answer, being vegan just makes you better.
Mark.
Derek.
Yeah.
What the
Mark.
fuck?
Being vegan now that threw me off a little bit.
5, 4, 3,
I'll say Total Recall.
All right, we'll
Did you
play
say
the
Total
rest.
Recall because of breast milk?
We'll play the rest of the clip.
It sounded futuristic.
All right, we'll play the rest of the clip. Give Katherine and Derek a chance.
Bingo. Hey man, question? I always wondered, how does not eating dairy products give you psychic powers? Okay.
Oh,
You know
Derek.
how you only...
Dylan Dog.
Catherine.
Oh my god! I can actually get this.
Catherine, get it.
We're gonna listen to this clip all
Did
night.
you learn that at Vegan Academy?
Go ahead and get snippy, baby. If you
What
do
is it,
science,
guys? For God's
maybe
sakes, just
I'd
give it
listen
to me.
what you're saying.
Katie, our producer, knows.
No, you can't cheat. Derek just gave her the answer.
Give it to
Katie's
Katie.
going to answer.
Pilgrim.
And Katie goes,
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim versus the world. So
That
no
was
one
me.
got
That was Katherine.
No one got that. Katherine, I'm going to let you out of this. Go
Thank
feed
you.
your meter because you're not going to win this game. All right. Catherine's going to feed her meter. Derek and Mark are going to continue. This is the battle of the minds.
What is it, 2-1 still?
It's 2-1. Here's
2-1.
Here's the next
Katie's
clip.
got one.
Here we go.
Derek.
Yes.
Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Wow.
Really?
That is
Holy
3-1.
Man,
There's a bat in my belfry.
I am
3-1. All right, here we go. So Derek is 2 away from beating Mark.
Need
The
a big play here,
the
Ellis.
second executive to beat Mark. All right. Here we go.
No faith.
The next clip.
You've got to be kidding me.
Look, today is kind of the biggest day of my life. And the thing is, I need
Derek.
you
Enchanted?
No.
Or I didn't mean it.
not to get him arrested. Just for 24 hours, and then you can chase each other to your heart's content, okay?
Mark is really taking his time.
And it's also my birthday. Just so you know.
Mark, we're gonna go with what was the Disney movie that
Come on.
the Rapunzel one?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Tangled. You get it.
All right,
So
good.
we're 3-2 now?
3-2, yeah.
3-2, okay. So it is 3-2. Mark and Derek are
That was like a 2-foot putt that I was standing over
Yeah.
forever.
All right, neck to neck. Derek had it. You just said the wrong name.
I thought about staying. They offered me the chance to lead them, to teach them, to be
Derek.
king.
Yeah.
Ash.
And which film?
That's the the sticker.
yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Not character. It's a movie.
It's Army of Darkness.
You're right.
Damn,
This is it.
That would have been such an easy
That
steal
would've been a good
if
steal.
you missed it.
So Derek is now going for the
4-2.
win. Here. Is going for the win. The final one. Here we are. Good luck to everyone that's not Mark. And we are.
That's him! That's him! Get him! Fuck him up! We're gonna check.
Derek for the win.
The Crow.
Wrong.
No.
No, Mark can get back in the
You
game
up!
here.
Make him hurt bad!
People out there are going nuts.
Mark,
Yeah.
I don't.
Good one.
Kill Bill.
No, Blade, you two animals.
Was that the same guy from
Blade?
The Crow?
Yeah, it was. No, but we have to let Katherine in because now she's at the gate because she didn't prep up the door.
I'll go let Katherine in.
Is that the same guy from The Crow?
Well, no, it wasn't. It was I forget his name, but no, he sounds like him. But let me ask Derek: do you think Blade is a hero or villain?
He's a hero.
Yeah, I would say so too. I think that he. I mean, but you could see that there's points where he goes down to. Oh, here's a question, by the way. I got into an argument with people over this. Do you think did Blade start the comic book movie phenomenon, or did the first X-Men 2000 start it?
I
The
mean,
studio process
X-Men.
going, okay.
X-Men really did it because
Right.
X-Men has the people knew it. It was the bigger thing.
Right.
I mean,
Blade got people curious, but X-Men started the studios going bananas making them.
Blade showed that you could do it, but it was the audience.
Look, any idiot knows that the modern comic book movie started with Batman's nipples
Stop it.
and
All right.
Batman and Robin.
All right, so it is now. It's 4-3.
Yeah.
All right, this is Derek could take it.
No,
here.
it's 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah.
Okay, 4-2. Here you go. This is.
By the blood of our people are your lands kept safe. Give Gondor the weapon of the enemy.
Mark. Gondor, The Lord of the Rings.
Which one?
That would be Return of the King.
I'm going to give it to you. It's Fellowship of the. It's Fellowship.
I wanted that for the Steve.
It's Fellowship because he said Lord of the Rings.
But that character's not in Fellowship.
I know, but I'm being nice to him.
I'm
I shouldn't
just
be
kidding.
Nice, but I'm going to be nice. All right, now it's 4-3. Just because now here
How
we go.
is this game taking this long?
I know. Here we go.
Want to know what it is?
Derek. The Matrix.
Derek has officially beaten
Morpheus.
How did you
Wow.
get that? That was brilliant.
Oh, dude, this guy's nailing some.
All right, so
gems.
what this means is that we have to invite Ethan Irwin back on,
Yes.
and Ethan Irwin
that's right.
versus Mark Ellis for the final.
No,
battle.
it'd be Ethan Irwin versus Derek Hoffman. I think that's the battle. And then-
Derek was pretty. Derek,
probably
Derek
him.
did a lot
You
better.
need to do like the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, there was one. You know what? I just want to play.
I'm
one that
definitely in there.
Wait, Catherine, I want to see if you would have gotten this one.
Oh,
Okay,
geez.
Derek
This
and
one
I will
humiliate me.
remain silent.
I think that you would have gotten this one. I want to see if you.
Okay.
I'm not going to play it as long as I played the other one, but I want to see if you got this, because it took them forever to get
You've
it.
got to be kidding me.
Look, today is.
That's all I get?
No, it paused. Forget it. Oh, wait.
That sounded familiar.
That's a-
There was a horse.
Here it is. Here it is.
Today is kind of the biggest day of my life. And the thing is, I need you not to get him arrested. Just for 24 hours, and then you can
is a horse.
chase each other to your heart's content.
Oh, boy.
Actually, you need to give her the next line.
Okay? And it's also my birthday.
No, it was Tangled.
Do you know that I was going to say that up top?
Well, then you should have.
I second guessed myself in
All
these
right.
games
Well,
too much.
that was the game. We played it. How did you guys do out there? We want to know. You had to have done better than Katherine. And that being said, I wanted to thank Derek Hoffman, the vice president of Donner's Company, to come in.
Thank
We look
you.
so forward to seeing what you guys have in store for the next XMen First Class
Hey,
untitled sequel.
don't forget Deadpool and Wolverine too.
Right. Shoot, we didn't talk about this. You got to come back on. We got to talk about Deadpool.
That's right, during the Tournament of Champions. And again, thank
They
you
will
for
both
getting
go
us
before
excited. If you need any questions about where should I go with the next story for X-Men, call Christian. I'm sure he's happy to give you some ideas.
Yes. So thank you for tuning in to episode 40. Make sure you check out episode 41. We're going to be talking about screenwriters, and we're going to be having the writer of The Gray, Ian Mackenzie Jeffers, which we're really excited about.
Yeah.
So
Ask him about Alien.
is he writing?
No, but just the Gray it follows the Alien model perfectly.
All right, I will. That's good. That's a good little tidbit. So thank you again, Derek, for joining us.
Yeah.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thanks for having me to Schmoesville.
Yeah, please, thank you for joining us in Schmoeville. And I'd like to thank
I just like
Katherine
it's called
Reitman, of
Schmoesville.
course, and Mark Ellis.
Thank you.
And we couldn't have done this week in, week out without Katie, our producer. So
Yay.
thank you, Katie. All right, but guys, see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, and make sure that you check us out at www.youtube.com/schmoesno and Katherine Reitman at youtube.com/Katherine Reitman.